Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, I'm Grace.
And we're Renegades.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Renegade Podcast, where we don't just chase miles, we chase what the miles chase out of us. The quiet truth that surfaces at mile 20, when the body is screaming to quit, but something deeper inside refuses to break. This show has always been about those moments, the ones that strip us down to what's real and rebuilds us stronger, kinder, more alive. If you've ever doubted your ability to crack a new PR, this episode cuts through the noise to reveal the mental strategies that keep athletes and everyday runners going when it matters most. Spoiler, it's not just about pushing harder. Today, I'm sitting here with two women who have lived that truth in an honest and unflinching way. Kelly Chiusano, a 6-star world major marathon finisher, 22 marathon deeps in her career, an ultra runner. She's a 10-time Boston qualifier. She's not just a running coach, but a mom, a wife, and a small business owner. Kelly started as a humble beginner who trusted the process so completely that she shaved 33 minutes off her marathon PR. Running the 2024 New York City Marathon shoulder to shoulder with her husband through the seasons of life's transitions, pushing solo through ultras when others fell back. She's turned setback into the fuel that she hands now her athletes as a coach. And Grace Lee, who discovered her passion for endurance running later in life. What began as a fresh challenge has unfolded into a powerful practice of resilience and self-discovery. She's steadily transformed her performance in iconic races while helping build the Striders NYC into a welcoming collective that empowers runners at every level to find their stride together. These two women aren't here just to impress us with finish times. They're here to hand you a real map, the breakthroughs, the fueling mistakes, the mindset shifts that turn good runners into resilient humans who refuse to quit. Whether you're chasing a BQ, battling self-doubt, or simply trying to enjoy the run again, these insights will give you the tools to stay in the game longer and smarter. Kelly and Grace are offering a fresh perspective on that pursuit of self-improvement. Tune in and see how a little mindset magic can turn I can't into I just did. Kelly and Grace, welcome to the Renegade.
We bring you Renegade at no cost to you with the help of our great friends of the podcast and our main sponsor, Thrive Protein. You know what I love about Thrive Protein? Let me tell you what I love about it. My favorite thing I've been testing out. I love their electrolytes. I love Thrive electrolytes. You got sodium, you got potassium, calcium, magnesium. You mix that in your water bottle and you head out for a run. It's cold outside right now. Everyone knows that if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and your water doesn't freeze. Not only does it taste good, your water doesn't freeze. And it gives you essential minerals that you need because you're sweating them out.
Sounds great. Converted me. It's got all the right EMs in it. It's good.
And
calcium.
And Jillian sent us this. They got their new Endura Fuel. So everything that you like about their electrolyte plus a 2-to-1 ratio of glucose to fructose. Wonderful.
I don't think there's anything better out there than that. And Todd, is there a promotion on Thrive? Promotional code?
Yes. Yes, there is. You can use the code RUNEGADE for 20% off your order. That's RUNEGADE. You get 20% off.
Wonderful.
Are those badges of honor behind you? Are those your favorite races or?
Yeah, some good memories. I've been lucky. I've done, I think, 4 of the 6 majors.
Is that Berlin behind you?
That was Berlin. We did that in 2023. My friend Harvey and I, we took the families over there. That was a great one. That was like one of my top races was Berlin. I loved it. Of all the 6 stars, which was your favorite? Which was the most memorable? London, okay.
I loved the London. I liked Japan a lot, but I planned that out terribly. So maybe a redo there would be nice. But I like the crowd in London. I like the fish and chips after the race in London. I I usually plan my races around my food. That's why I like Philly so much for the cheesesteaks.
The cheesesteak, yes.
But I really liked Berlin. I ran it with my friend Matt. It was the first time I was like, okay, train smart. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try and qualify for Boston, which I did, which then a year later got taken away because I missed it by 80 seconds with the new qualifying standards. But I just really enjoyed the course. I don't know. I thought it was a fun race, a fun run.
You know what? I'm with you. Like I totally love London. That was last year. We did that one. Brought the families again, and we did all the sightseeing after because I learned from the first one in 2023. We spent like a week and a half traveling Europe before the marathon. That was the marathon before the marathon.
That's right.
So I was spent at the Berlin, but London was fantastic. What was kind of amazing and disheartening at the same time, just for me, was getting passed by so many people wearing costumes. I don't know. You probably didn't have that problem like I do.
I don't remember that. I just went out to race London. I'm actually running it again this year. London with my husband, but he's going to walk run it because he is getting over a stress fracture. I really, I don't know. I like the crowds on. I liked it. It started in like a weird, like field, right?
That's right. Yes, that giant field. The hot air balloons off in the distance.
Yeah.
It
was a little bizarre. But I really liked it. I liked that race a lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We got to get Grace overseas.
Yeah. I haven't done any overseas races yet.
Well, Grace, there's lots of time. There's lots of races. We can probably go through a bunch.
Eventually.
A lot of good races.
List eventually.
I thought to start off, one of my favorite movies is Almost Famous. I don't know. Do you like Almost Famous,
yes.
the movie? Okay.
Yeah.
The scene at the end where William is interviewing Billy Kudrup. He's been waiting for the interview for the whole movie. Finally gets him in, and he asks him the one question. So, Kelly, what do you love about running?
Running for me is my meditation. It's the only time where I don't have to listen to anybody and no one's asking me for anything. And I just get to see how far I can push myself. I never run with music. I never run with headphones, except for if I'm on the treadmill. And I just like how freeing it is. I like to see how I can push my body. I like to see how I can control my breathing. I think there are a lot of upsides to running and not just the physical part, the mental part.
I totally agree. And no music, no headphones when you're out.
Never.
Really?
The weird thing is, like, when I'm running, sometimes I'll see someone else who's just jogging in the park and I'll be like, I bet I can beat them. And then I try and race them and they don't even know I'm there. And my friend Matt's like, you know, people aren't racing when they're running in the park. Just you are. You can stop doing that. But I'm like trying to pick people off on an easy run. It's really weird. But I don't know. And I like how big running's become. I feel like everyone's a runner now.
You're right. Everyone is a runner. Running is so big. We thought about doing a couple episodes on why running sucks to try to get the numbers down so we can get into more races. Yes, but it's not going to work because that'd be difficult. But no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And for you, Grace, you know,
I think it's the same. It's for me, it's time for myself. I have 3 kids and run a business similar to Kelly. So it's a time of meditation, time to just process. Running became really big for me, similar to most people out there during the pandemic. So just time to process through, things that are going on in your mind. I also really love the challenge. It's a challenge with yourself. What can you do? What is your body capable of? So I really like being able to push myself. And even today, I did some hill repeats and the paces I was hitting, I was shocked with myself. So I think it's always interesting to see what, your own body can manage.
Absolutely. Like that element of, and I guess non-runners can't really truly understand that, but to train for something, to put in the work and then to start to see the benefits, it's patience. Patience is the number one thing that I've learned over my 10 years of running. And it's been humbling at times and been amazing at times. But maybe go back to Kelly. Like, how did your running journey start? Like, what was your first introductions to running? How did you come across that?
I moved here when I was 22, right after I got married. And I saw the New York City Marathon on TV, and I was like, who would do that? Because people are crying. They're like shitting themselves. It
Yeah.
seems like a terrible adventure. So I put my name in the hat and I got drawn for the next year. So I ran in 2006 and I just loved it. Like I was like, I kind of get it now. Like it's torture. The training is probably the worst part. It's months of your life, hours of your life that you're just running all the time. And I had no idea. I would be like, oh, I guess today I should probably run 11 miles. I don't know, as fast as I can, which was like an 11-minute pace then. So, you know, I learned a lot in the last 20 years. But yeah, when I first got into running, I was like, I'm only doing this because I got chosen. Like, I think running is, I was never a runner. I was never athletic. I was a cheerleader in high school, and that was basically it.
And Grace, what was your introduction to running? How did you find running? Was it to run away
I
from the
was-
three kids?
No,
No.
I was a little bit opposite of Kelly. I did a lot of sports growing up. But I didn't really, and I did a little bit of track. But I didn't really get into running more consistently until for my 40th birthday, it was my bucket list to do a marathon. And at the time, Kelly kept promoting herself as a trainer, actually, and I started training with Kelly initially for my 40th marathon, which was a very small marathon in Atlantic City. And as soon as I was done, I was like, "What's next?" I literally was asking Kelly, "What's next?" And I kind of, caught the bug at that point. Wanted to do better, wanted to do more. So I've been running ever since then.
Kelly, I read over 20 marathons. You got a couple ultras under your belt. What's been the biggest education from your first run, that first 2006 NYC marathon, to your running journey now? Like, what's been the biggest surprise to you, the biggest learning?
The biggest, hardest, and probably most important thing I've learned about is fueling.
Hmm.
In the beginning, I never even drank water during marathons. I would never, I was terrible at fueling. I guess maybe in the back of my head, I probably use it as like a weight control thing, which is stupid because running shouldn't be about that. Running should be about making yourself stronger and more confident and learning about what you need to be a better runner. So I would say fueling is like something that really changed the game for me. Now when I run, even today I ran 7 miles and I ate gummies, basically the Stinger chews basically the entire time. I think that that's been a game changer for me, running and track work. We don't have a track near us. It's been under construction for 4 years now. So every Tuesday we wake up at 4 a.m. We get to the track by 5:30. Because if you're there 6:45, you're late. It's like 100+ people on one track because there aren't a lot of tracks in New York, especially right now. 2 of the big ones are under construction. So track work and fueling, but fueling has definitely been a game changer for me. And all of our clients, I always like, you have a 20-mile run tomorrow. What's your fueling plan? And they're like, no, I was like, no, what is it? Walk me through it. Tell me what you're eating. It's important. You can't drive a car without gas. You can't drive your body without fuel. So fueling.
I was reading an article in the last few weeks that talked about the pros and cons of fasted runs. And it urged caution for women not to do any fasted runs because the way the woman's body is primed for fuel and fueling is not the same as a man. So a man can go do a fasted run and not have as many negative effects. But that was the one thing that was surprising to me because I thought both the physiologies, you'd be able to do a long fasted run potentially to learn to build your fat burning.
Right.
So did you ever go through that evolution of these long fasted runs, or did you always kind of try to stay away from that?
Well, it wasn't on purpose. It was just I didn't understand fueling. I mean, now, like even the half marathon, I randomly DM'd a fast runner and I was like, can you pace me towards a fast half marathon? I want a PR. And every 25, 30 minutes, he would look at me and he would say, you need to fuel. And he would hand me goos to fuel. And then he would hand me 3 glasses of water, one to drink, one to dump on my head, and one to throw in my face. And that was like every 30 minutes. And it was very humid out and he fuels a lot. So I don't know. I think that it's important for men and women. I don't know about the fasted runs. I haven't done a lot of research on it. For me, I know personally for me it would not work. I start every run, if it's 7 miles or more, I'll have French toast in the morning
Okay.
and then I'll fuel throughout the run. I have to eat. I'm always eating.
And
I can
Grace,
confirm that too.
Grace can confirm. Absolutely. No, no.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy sneaking some food on the run. Sometimes,
Would
like
you,
when
are
I'm
you a fasted runner?
most of the time, like I'll do my long runs on Saturday morning. I'll have breakfast, but I won't bring anything other than water during the run. So when you were mentioning when you first started running, no water, I had flashbacks. We had Bill Rogers on a few months ago, and he's like,
I heard
"Hey, when I hear that one, I can't understand how they didn't drink water or eat anything during 30, 40 years ago running marathons." So I thought, well, Kelly, are you just trying to like channel back the old school 70 runners, like no water on the course for your marathon?
Yeah.
You knew you're
No.
allowed to drink water, right? You knew
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't like that like slushy
the
feeling,
sloshing feeling.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah, like I don't, that's not good for me. So I did hear that. I heard that podcast actually. No, and then I would think that I'm more close to like a pre Fontaine runner. Afterwards I'll have my Diet Coke and chips. Like like I like to eat. I like food. I like nutrition. So
The Renegade is proud to be sponsored by Thrive Protein. Power your runs and fuel your endurance with Thrive Protein, the premier Canadian-made supplement brand crafted for endurance athletes. This family-owned brand uses a science-based approach to develop high-quality electrolytes, a carbon electrolyte powder, creatine, vegan protein powders, whey protein, and super greens. And they are constantly innovating. Recently brought to market EnduraFuel, hydration and fuel all in one. Each serving offers 30 grams of carbs in a 2-to-1 ratio of glucose to fructose, 400 milligrams of sodium, 150 milligrams of potassium, 25 milligrams of calcium, and magnesium, replenishing all the elements that you're sweating out during your efforts. And it gives your body the energy it needs to perform at its peak. Plus, the lemonade flavor tastes amazing. Thrive's clean products fuels your body with natural ingredients and no artificial fillers. Designed to boost recovery, enhance endurance, and keep you strong on the trails or the roads. Thrive is perfect for any athlete chasing any distance. Visit thriveprotein.ca and use the code RENEGADE for 20% off your order. Thrive Protein. Fuel your relentless pursuit of adventure.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Prefontaine because that was the angle. So Almost Famous, I love that movie. And Jen, my wife, always thought it's because, oh, you like Kate Hudson in that movie. Like, Kate, I know you're listening to the podcast. Absolutely. I love you. But no, I had a man crush on Billy Cudrup because he was starred in Prefontaine. We watched that movie so much. And it was just cool to like kind of see, every time I saw Billy
he's
on the
awesome.
screen. He is
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. So Billy, if you're listening, we loved you in Prefontaine.
We love you.
And
Right.
I always, when I think of Prefontaine, I think of Billy. So I don't know. He did a really good job of playing Steve. Grace, from your running journey, like, looking back, you talked about your first, your marathon, your first to your best. What has been the biggest surprise to you? Like the biggest learning? Kelly shared fueling and, sorry,
Track work.
and track work.
I got you.
I hate track work. That's why I forgot about it. It went right on my mind immediately. Like speed work, that's crazy. But Grace, from your side, what are you thinking?
I think just being patient with training. I don't think I realized how much, everyone says trust the process. But I think from my personal experience, the process has really worked for me. I was looking back at my marathons and the last few marathons I've run, I've PR'd by 33 minutes each time.
What? Okay.
And even the last marathon for New York City, it's one of the hardest marathons. My only goal was to run the entire race, but I consistently kept between a 9:30 and a 9:33 pace. And
The entire time.
That was shocking for me, even going over, the bridges and everything. My watch was really wonky that day, so I had no idea in the dark on how I was performing. Until I, as soon as I was done, I got a call from Kelly and she was like, "Oh my God, you kept on pace the entire time." So, I didn't think, going through all the training that I went through that I would be able to get to where I got to late last year. So,
Not only that, but after the marathon, she hopped on a city bike and biked home 7 miles.
Were you
Right.
training
Wanna
for an
get
ultra?
crammed
Is that
into
what
the
you're doing?
chain. I know.
Triathlon, right?
Yeah, triathlon. And for the listeners, that New York City, I've been lucky. I ran it 3 times. That is a tough course. I know. That was my goal too. Run the entire course. Don't walk the bridges. Run fast down the bridges. And my third one, every time I'm getting a little bit better. But 33 minutes. Now you said it's it's the process, the patience, but to chunk off 33 minutes off your PR. What's the secret sauce that you come across? Is it the speed work? Is there the fueling?
I think it was everything. Kelly and I did a lot of hill training as well. We make sure we do that once a week where we do hill repeats. So that, I think, especially for New York City, that's really important with all the hills that you come across. Track work obviously definitely made me faster. And then fueling. I'm terrible at fueling. Even when I do for long runs with Kelly, sometimes she fuels. I just, right now, since it's so cold, I won't always pull the fuel out right away because my hands are frozen.
Yes.
But when I look back at my runs, I'm like, I should have fueled earlier. I should have fueled right before the end, and I would have had more energy to get me to the end. I make it, but you look back and you look at, where could I have done better? So it is the fueling as well, for sure.
There is definitely, like, you can even see in the marathons with the Martin and the 120 grams, 140 grams an hour. They got it in the ultra events now. I think my first marathon, my running journey is kind of funny. I ran the Detroit City Marathon. I ran it in 5 hours. I trained the next summer, the whole year. I ran it in 5:01. So I got worse. I'm the only person ever in the history of the world to get worse their second marathon. I wasn't hurt or anything. I don't know what the hell happened. But looking back, I wasn't fueling. I was taking Generation UCAN, and I was taking one every hour. So I think there's like 10 grams of carbs in there. So I was barely taking any energy. So I wonder why I lost my step and my pop in my step at like mile 15 or whatever. And then I shot up to about 60 grams, 70 grams per hour. And I'm not running super fast, but I'm not slowing down like I did. And definitely nutrition has come a long ways. What's your go-to, Kelly, for nutrition during your marathons and your long events? What's your favorite?
Sorry. So pre-run is 2 pieces of French toast.
The French toast,
And
yes.
then I love it. My daughter makes it for us. She's big on it. We have it every morning. So I don't have it just when I run, but I have it every morning. And then during the run, it's always the Singer Chews. I love the Singer Chews. I can't do goos anymore. Last summer, for 2 years, I probably loved the Morton's gels. I'm not bashing them. It's a great, obviously, energy source. Something happened. I had a visceral reaction. I cannot. I think I OD'd on them. So I just can't do goos anymore. And I like to eat. So, Singer Chews feel like you're eating something. So I'll pack Singer Chews with me, and I'll go through the whole pack, maybe a pack and a half. I love them.
Yeah. They are good. I love crunching on those. I like those gummies too.
Yeah.
Grace,
I think the blocks are too big. Like the goo blocks, the Gatorade blocks are like too hearty.
I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah. I'm pretty much the same. On race day, I like to do a half bagel in the morning with a banana. Usually my wave is a little bit later, so then I have to take something else with me to eat. Usually it'll be a rice cake with peanut butter. But I do the Singer Chews also. And then occasionally I do the blocks, gummies, but those tend to get stuck in my teeth sometimes. So I'm like picking them out.
Yes.
But the Stingers are definitely my go-to right now as well.
I laughed a little bit because there ain't nothing worse than when you're flying down the bridge and you got something stuck in your and you're trying to pick it out. It's the worst feeling. It's terrible. So this is for new runners. If you're going to run your first marathon, this is the stuff you got to think about, because until you experience it, you would never have thought this and how annoying that something stuck in your tooth during a marathon can be.
It's true.
No, you both run a few marathons. How many have you run, Grace, in total?
I've done 3, and then I have 3 more for this year as well.
3 more this year. That's a big year. I love it.
Yeah.
for us who've run marathons, and if you're going to be running your first marathon, there comes that point in the race where it gets to be overwhelming. It's stressful to get just to get to the start line. And then your mind starts to fail you, that starts talking negative. You can't do this. You get all those negative thoughts and it just gets harder. What have you done, or what have you learned to quiet that voice down? You can never eliminate it, but what have you done, Kelly, to quiet that voice down and come to terms with the pain during a marathon?
So I have a weird countdown that my friend taught me. He's like, don't count down 5 miles, count down 4 and change, 3 and change. For some reason, that makes it go by so much faster and easier for me. I also remind myself, and I remind my runners when they're like, "Oh, I can't hit this time," or "I can't, I don't know if I can run that full thing." I said, "You can walk." The good news is we're not being paid for this. We chose to do this, and it's fun. Like, you got chosen out of how many people applied for London last year? 750,000. You got into the London Marathon. You should be excited to just run it. You trained for it. You know you can do it, and you'll be happy at the end. Like, I just always remember, like, I'm lucky to be able to run this. Especially, I was injured and took 3 weeks off in December. I had a inflamed IT band. So now when I'm out there and I'm like, I don't want to run today, I'm like, I get to run today. Like, there were 3 weeks when I could not run. I could barely walk. And now I'm out here and I got to do it. I just remind myself how, like, I'm doing this for me. I'm not getting paid to do this. I want to do this, and I actually really like it. So I just try and enjoy it.
That's a great mindset. It's a couple things here that I heard from you is tricking the mind. Like, you got to do these little things to fool yourself. It's not fool yourself. It's to trick the mind. That's what I've come to terms with over my marathons and ultra marathons, would be that the second your brain figures out what you're doing, it's going to try to quit, stop you, slow you down, whatever, because it's just
Right.
So yeah, if you can trick it, that's some good advice on that.
I once did a 50-mile ultra in a blizzard in Wisconsin. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was freezing. I had to change my shoes and my socks at, the halfway point. My husband and my friend drove around and they warmed up gloves for me and kept passing them off for me. And they're like, "Why are you smiling? It is so cold." Like, the wind was so strong and the storm was so strong it blew over the tent, so there was no pizza party at the end. That bummed out my daughter. But I was like, I can be out here. My mother-in-law always says, you can choose to have a good time or you can choose to have a bad time. And I chose to have a good time. So I just ran with a big smile on my face and I was like, this is crazy. It's a blizzard, and then it's sunny, and then it's hailing, and it's all these things. And but I'm out here and I have a pocket full of peanut butter stuffed pretzels, and I'm just gonna snack and enjoy myself. So that's what I did. I chose to have a good time.
Chose to have a good time. And I think the more you get to experience, and the more marathons and ultras that folks run, there's like a switch goes off in the brain, where there's that type A personality that you're trying to set a PB. You can only do that for so long or so many races. It's okay to be that way, but you'll have a lot more fun if you just enjoy the event.
Yeah.
That's something that's been eye-opening for me the last few years. Just like you said about London, just to be in London, run past the Cutty Sark, seeing all these costumes on the course. I was just amazed that I made it to the start line. I got on this.
I think Big Ben ran past me.
Big Ben, yes, the Big Ben. Scooby Doo, the whole Mystery Machine ran past me with like 4 people in it.
Oh God,
So
that's hilarious. When I did Tokyo, I flew in. I got there Friday night. The race was Sunday morning. I was on no sleep. I was super dehydrated. I was so messed up. And it's a great course. You can definitely PR. The conditions were perfect. Mile 22, I started hallucinating, and I'm like, I'm not going to PR. I'm just going to stand here and have water and look around and be like, I'm in Tokyo running a marathon, and just appreciate that. So yeah, like you said, you're not going to always PR, or it's not going to be your best race, but you can find a best part of that race to reflect on. And for me, that was just being like, holy cow, I'm in a different place running a marathon that people would die to be at, and I'm just going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. And Grace, what about you? Like, coming across your marathons, it gets hard. What have you learned to push past, silence that pain?
Like you, I'm not a big fan of track work. So I think a lot back to track days. And I think about when I hit those walls, I've finished every single one of those track days. So, because it's such a challenge every Tuesday morning to get up and get through those trainings, I remind myself, I did it then, and I can do it now. So I kind of use that as something to motivate myself to get through to the end. Even, this last New York City, I saw Kelly and I were fortunate enough to walk the end of the race for the first time, rather than racing it. So we did that the day before, I think. And it was nice to see, actually noticing where the mile markers are and, the 800, the 400, and connecting that back to, your track workouts. So reminding yourself, you've done the 800s how many times, countless times. You just got to push through. So for me, it's just, for whatever odd reason, it's thinking back to the track work and thinking, I've done all of this before. So I need to use that same mindset to finish the race.
Yeah. Practice builds that confidence. It's hard to fake confidence because your mind knows if you're faking it. To put in the work and then trust in that work. Yeah, that's some good advice there. What I found amazing too, and you both run at New York and you have the 6 stars. Kelly, when you were running those races, were you surprised, or were you able to pick out your family, your fans, your support in the crowd at random because you could hear their voices?
So not based on their voices, because my husband and daughter are low talkers.
Okay.
So when my daughter was younger, it was easy to find them because she would be on Tim's shoulders. So I'd be like, there they are. But now they will find me and they'll like make sure to kind of lean out, or to be in a more desolate area. I mean, Tim's followed me, not just the stars, but Amsterdam and Paris and Toronto. Like, he knows basically, I got to be in a desolate area. I'll find her. He calls it the hardest spectator sport in the world, which it is. Yeah, I can't go based off them yelling. I will never hear them. They are way too quiet. But, I'll know what they're wearing, and he usually wears something loud, so I'll be able to spot them that way.
You can visually spot them.
Yeah.
I laugh because I always was surprised that I kind of knew where Jen would be in the family, but maybe not, because I kind of tune out. But I could hear their voice through like seas of people, and it's really amazing what your ears are like tuned to pick up. Like, you could hear people screaming, and all of a sudden you hear like Dad, and you're just like, oh my God, that's Jen. It was always interesting to me. But you're right. Okay. For the folks listening, if you're going to run your first marathon and you're bringing some fans, your family, it's harder to be a spectator at the marathon than it is to run the marathon. I try to tell Jen, I'm trying to like convince her to start running with me, but I've been running for 10 years. I failed at it for 10 years. But I was going to ask you about that, because Tim has mentioned that you got him running. How did you do this? Asking for a friend?
So I actually got him into the New York City Marathon in 2019 to run 2020. And then he was so happy that he couldn't run it because all the races were closed down for COVID. And so I was like, you can run it next year. You can defer to next year or 2022. So he deferred to 2022. And then he got pushed into it. You're signed up. We paid for it. You're going to run it. Running is expensive now. A race is, what is New York's $370 to run now? Like, you're running the race. And actually, he started to love it. He calls it his mental vitamins. He looks forward to running every day. One of us would be by the front door, and it's like kind of like a high five, like a relay race, because we couldn't leave our daughter home alone. So, one of us is like aching to get out. I kind of just tricked him into it, and then he fell into it. And luckily enough, because he's inspired tons of people around the world to run through his platform, which is great. And he's probably the reason we can't get into races now.
I think sometimes I would love if Jen would go for a jog with me. And then sometimes I'm like, it's nice to your earlier comment. I got like 30, 40 minutes of just time with myself. No one's asking me any questions. My brain's asking me enough questions to itself that I don't need any more help.
And it's that relief and that running away. Okay, well, like maybe juxtapose now into your coaching business. You can describe your coaching philosophy and how has that coaching philosophy changed over time?
We absolutely, well, I'll speak for myself first. I absolutely love coaching. So during COVID, I started, or even 2017 when I qualified for Boston, the first time in Berlin, I wanted to get smarter about running because I had been running for 11 years on a whim. Oh, I'll try this, I'll try that. And I was like, I think I can qualify for Boston. Let me get smart about it. So I started learning about pacing, fueling, etc. And then during COVID, everyone's stuck at home. I was like, let me get qualified to be a run coach. And so I got qualified through RRCA and USATF. And I was like, this is interesting. This is fun. I can do this. I can motivate and coach people to run and teach them how to do it properly, things that I didn't know before. And so I started putting myself out there and it started picking up and more people started running and more people started signing up. And then I got Grace. I was like, do you want to do this with me? It's getting very busy. A lot of people are running now. And it's fun to see people go from, a walk run. I don't know if I can even run 7 minutes to, I just ran my first marathon. Like as much fun as it is to be a runner, it's almost more fun to watch people succeed in running and try something outside their comfort zone and be good at it and enjoy it and want to do it more. So we currently have runners in Japan and Argentina and Canada, like all over the world. It's virtual. So unfortunately we can't run with all of them, but the ones in New York, we like to meet up and run with them. And it's funny how they're like, I don't know if I can hit this whatever pace. And then you run with them and you're talking, you're like, you just did it by over a minute faster than my program before. Like you have that speed in you. And just to see that light in their eyes, like, it's just like, it's a warm feeling. It's a fun feeling to see people push themselves.
And from your perspective, Grace?
I think it's the community that we get to create and the relationships that we get to build with each of our clients. Like Kelly said, we have clients that have all different kinds of backgrounds. And to see them build confidence in the sport and just a love for the sport, I think for us, it's really rewarding to see that.
Now, maybe like compare, contrast. You got new runners coming to you. You probably got mid-pack runners. You got runners looking for a PB. What similarities do they all have in the context of what are they getting wrong? Like when they come to you, you're like, oh, you probably won't tell them right away, but you can kind of say, I can see there's this common mistake that these runners are making. If there's a common mistake, what do you think it is?
I have two things. Nobody wants to run 80% of their runs at a slower pace. No one wants to run a conversation pace most of the time. And they'll think that their conversation pace is faster than it really is. I run a pretty quick marathon. My conversation pace is a lot slower and then some of these people who don't run as fast. And I'm like, listen, it's not a big deal. Nobody cares. Run slower on the conversation. It will pay off. And another thing that I tell our runners is stop going into or believing so much in the zone 2 running. I am totally against zone 2 running. I think it's more of a fad than helpful to people. I believe more in a conversation pace. Zone 2, your heart rate can go up because you drank alcohol, you had a bad night's sleep, you're stressed at work, you're stressed with kids. It can be so many things. You can run the same rate, the same run 2 days in a row, and you can be in a zone 2 and you can be in a zone 4. Why is that happening? Stress. Your heart rate's going up for different reasons. Like just if you can sing to yourself, if you can hold a conversation with your friend, aim for that. Stop like being a prisoner to your watch and your zones.
I think It's also fear. Like a lot of people tend to have fear or lack of confidence before it gets in their mind before they even give it a try. So I think, getting out there, trying what's in the training plan and then realizing, your body can do it. It just needs a little bit of a push. And if you keep doing that training again and again, like I mentioned earlier, you'll get to those paces eventually. But if you don't, that's okay, because like Kelly said before, it's all for fun. None of us are getting paid for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're paying for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Kelly, help us understand your marathon pace versus your conversational pace. What does that look like
Okay.
from a pace perspective for the listeners?
Okay, so my marathon pace is 7:25.
Okay.
My conversation pace is 2 to 2.5 minutes slower. It depends on the day. Yeah, usually my conversation pace is around 9:30, 10, not between 9 and 10, I would say comfortably. But if I'm doing like a half marathon or a marathon, it's going to be 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes faster. And my speed work is going to be even faster than that, which I need those recovery days.
Yep.
I need those slower run days. You can't go out there. And that was the big misconception when I first started running marathons. It was like every single run that I do has to be at that time a 10:30 to an 11-minute pace, or I'm not doing well. Like I knew nothing about it in 2006. So, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning from other runners. I'm learning from Grace. I'm learning from different run clubs, about pacing, about pushing myself. I think that the fact that my 3:14 marathon was in a zone 3-4, I have more in me, but I don't know how I have to learn to unlock that.
Yeah. I love asking that question because it's an interesting question to ask runners of all calibers. When we have the Olympians on, it's the same thing, that it's like a 2-minute window, 3 minute window, where Rachel Hanna was on, and she's running 3:20 per kilometer for her marathon. And then her easy run is like 5:30. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my like normal run is a 5:30. But Rachel, I can't even run 3:30 downhill on a sprint. So
Yeah.
it's understanding, like developing the muscle memory at those different paces. And I think that's what I've learned over time is I know I need to do the more speed work, but I'm always looking for the minimum dose of speed work. Have you ever come across the minimum dose of speed work?
If I feel like I need to take a break from speed work, I will take a full week off and just hit a little bit higher mileage and all easy runs. Because I know, like, mentally, I'm not going to hit it. So why am I going to fight it? And my body obviously needs a rest. So I'll allow myself, what's 1 week of just higher mileage and slower runs. I'll just allow myself that sort of break and then get back into it. I can't fight myself. That's when your heart rate goes up. That's when you're a prisoner to your watch. I have to hit that. I have to hit that. It's like, I'm not there mentally. I'm not going to do it.
You're just going to get disappointed.
And you'll just get disappointed. And then you'll say, I hate running. And I don't want to do that.
And Grace, from your marathon pace to your conversational pace, how does that look for the listeners?
It's about the same, about a 2-minute difference.
A 2-minute difference.
Something that I've been doing more recently, due to the weather, is running on a treadmill. I have been putting a lot of pressure on myself because I don't keep the paces that I normally pace when I run outside. So treadmill running for me is very, very slow. And so I feel pressure to have to run faster. But I think, going outside even today and seeing how I perform today, I see that those much slower treadmill runs actually have benefit me, other areas in my training. So I just have to remind myself that it's okay to go, slower, take it easy. Sometimes your body just needs that. And then, I saw the return today when I was doing my hill repeats.
Let me just say real quick about Grace. We ran 19 miles the other day and she's like, we're running my marathon pace. And I was like, then your marathon pace is not this, because we're talking and laughing the entire time. This is not your marathon pace. So
Kelly makes it really easy to run.
19 miles of us just talking and telling jokes and her laughing and us, we were fueling the whole time. But that's not your marathon. Your actual race pace is much faster. So I'm pushing her. We're doing the Wine Glass Marathon this year. It's a huge, do you know it, in Corning, New York?
I've heard of it. Yes, I've heard of it.
I love it because you get in the tent right before the race and you look around and it's literally people like bleeding for PRs. They are there for one reason, and that is to run as fast as they can and be done. And so I'm really excited for her to hit it. And I think she's going to have another 33 to who knows what minute PR. It's a great race, and I think she'll unleash her speed there.
It's that mental unblock. The brain's holding you back. We are a
Yeah.
lot faster than we actually give ourselves credit for.
Mhm.
And you got yourself a great pace.
I got it,
We'll
girl.
see. Yeah.
Grace, what's your favorite speed work that you like to do at the track?
Mm.
Or that you like to prescribe to your runners?
Maybe a ladder. So going backwards from higher mileage to lower. I think it's interesting to see, you feel like you struggle halfway through, but when you get to those 400s and the 200s, you can see how much you can really push yourself and how much you can really exceed the paces that, were prescribed to you. I think you don't think that you can hit it because the earlier, you're doing the 1200s or even the mile, and you're struggling through that. But like Kelly said, there's always more room to push yourself and really hit that mileage. So I think the ladder is really one of the speed workouts that I think it can be challenging, but then surprise you in the end too.
The ladder. Kelly, from your side, what's your go-to for recommendation on speed work?
I'm so big on the 800s right now, 10 by 800. I love it. I aim for consistency, and on the treadmill, it's very easy to be very consistent. So I brought it outside this week and I hit all negative splits, and I was like, wow, I have so much speed to unlock. And I just find it such a rewarding workout. I couldn't do it on the track because we're snowed over here, but just bringing it outside on the open road, I find it really rewarding to see the numbers afterwards and telling of where my 5K can be, where my half can be, my marathon. So it's making that run specifically, that workout makes me really excited for marathon season.
Runners, your gear is holding you back. If you're struggling with chafing, useless pockets, and materials that feel too technical and just don't keep up with your training, let me introduce you to Path Projects, offering a complete line of gear and apparel built by runners, for runners, and today's modern endurance athletes that want to perform, train hard, and look damn good doing it. Say goodbye to chafing with Path's independent suspension design. They've separated the baseliner from the short, virtually eliminating all the rubbing and movement that traditional running shorts have. A simple design feature that makes all the difference. Less movement plus performance fabrics equals no burn, no chafing, no hot shower screams. My all-time Path favorite, their best-selling Graves PX running short built with Toray Prime Flex has a great feel while being extremely durable and has an unbelievable amount of storage. I've been able to carry gels, my iPhone, my car keys, and even hang a clip-on water bottle off the waist. And they're built to last. Path's Tahoe CL baseliners offer an all-season performance. The cool light mesh is for the extremists. A bird's eye mesh fabric that is ultra light, super wicking, and insanely breathable. Comfort means everything. And they offer personalized performance. With Path baseliners, you have the choice of 2 fabrics and 4 lengths, 3, 5, 8-inch, and full length, which allows you to dial in a baseliner based on the current weather condition and your personal preference. And with the Path's Graves PX shorts, you have the choice of 2 fits, classic and relax, and 2 lengths, which give you the flexibility to match your short to the effort. With the right gear from Path, you can focus on your effort and getting after it. Check them out, pathprojects.com, and you can use the code TRP10 for 10% off your order for a limited time. The 800s. I would say that I never grew up as a runner. I was a hockey player. So my sisters were good runners, great runners. And I never really got into the track thing, and I live in a very small town. We have like a dirt track. I'm basically the only runner in town. So I'm that guy. Everyone's like, oh, there's Todd running around town again. And every time I show up at the track, it's windy. So it's always good for like the one section, and then you got to turn the corner, and then you're pushing the wind. And that's why I give up. I'm like, I hate the wind. The wind loves me. But I got to get into the track. I got to figure this out because...
Where are you in Canada?
Right across, about 30, 40 minutes from Detroit, Michigan. So right at the very south of Canada, a little town called Windsor, Ontario. If you ever
That's
heard...
in Detroit by the UP. Is that what it is? And then
the south of Detroit. south. UP would be like Sault Ste. Marie.
The other way?
The other way, yeah.
Okay.
Northern.
Okay.
Yeah, like, do you remember the famous song? I think it's, like, not REO Speedwagon. I'll get an email about this, I'm sure of it. But it was like born and raised in South Detroit. Like
Okay.
yeah. Well, like South Detroit is like Windsor, Ontario. That's where we're right across the river from Detroit. So I live in a small town, like maybe 1,000 people. So there's a few runners here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Typical Canadian small town.
That's right. That's right. And then when you said hockey player, that was no surprise either.
Of course. I do have a question I was going to ask you, because growing up, I played hockey. I was a goalie. So Tim, I know, was a goalie. And I didn't know this until it's probably like maybe 2016, 2017, where I'm watching a Maple Leaf game and both goalies went down and they didn't have the third goalie. So they got the Zamboni driver in Toronto, the Toronto Zamboni driver, to go in for the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Maple Leafs with the Zamboni driver. So we like that's
the E-Bug. Was he the E-Bug at the time? Yeah.
I think so. But then this is a thing. Like you can have a double emergency backup goalie, right? This is what Tim does a little bit.
I don't know if he's more of a shtick and wants to be it, but there are E-Bugs, and there are great stories of, like I think there was one guy that was like an insurance salesman, or there was the teacher where all of a sudden they got called in. But it's a tough life because you got to go to the games, right? Because you have to be available. But they got to go in, and then like the press conference, they're like, I was teaching math yesterday and today I'm here playing hockey and we just won or whatever. And Tim's always like, man, maybe this year will be the year that they need the double emergency backup goalie. And I'm always like, you better get stretching because you are not flexible and you are not in your 20s. So it's crazy. It's the only sport that has backup somewhere in the stands.
Well, yeah, you could. Well, growing up, they always like dressed the one defenseman that wanted to play goalie, and then they'd quickly put the clothes on and out
yeah,
you'd go.
Guess so.
But then I just find it funny. So was Tim a goalie growing up when he played hockey?
Yes, he was. He was a goalie in Pelham. In high school, he was a goalie. Then he went to Canada and he was a goalie. And I think he wanted to keep being a goalie and go pro, but he got a lot of concussions and he lost a tooth and, all the goalie things. So it didn't really work out for him, but he was Frontenac Flyers.
Okay. Frontenac Flyers.
Up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frontenac Flyers. So. Absolutely. I laugh because we come from a small like breed. Like my wife, Jen, always says, I can tell you that you were a goalie because you got that, a little bit of quirkiness about you. Yeah. Yes. You got to step in front of a hockey puck. When I played, I'm Tim's age. So when I played, we didn't have great equipment. And I know what they say nowadays. Oh, people shoot harder nowadays. Not even close. They shot hard back in the 80s and 90s. And we didn't have any equipment on, and concussions, you name it, explains everything. So
the fact that goalie players never even, there was a time when they didn't even have helmets, and there were goalies, hockey players didn't have helmets. Goalies didn't have face masks. Like I love going to Toronto and going to the Hockey Hall of Fame and seeing the old uniforms and the old gear. It's wild what they would play in.
Absolutely.
The Jason masks. Yeah.
The Jason masks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the evolution. It's fun. I was laughing because I was watching some old clips. It's the Olympics on right now. So we're watching hockey.
Right.
But hockey's changed so much in the last 30, 40 years. I miss kind of old school hockey because when we grew up in small town Canada, you would travel around to like other small towns, and there was a lot of like roughness and fighting and fun stuff. Like not like getting beat up and stuff like that, but that was really fun about hockey. And I miss that nowadays because you may not have been the best hockey player, but you might have been a really good fighter, and you at least have
that would take you a long way, right?
That'd take you a long way, absolutely. Well, maybe that breaks us into this next topic here, because what's this about kickboxing? Is this the ultimate cross training that runners should be looking at?
Yeah, kickboxing is a great form of cross training. It's a full body workout. I actually got into kickboxing 6 weeks after I had my daughter.
Okay.
Because I was always a runner, but I wanted to like shed the weight and I needed strength training. And especially now, as we get older, you realize how important that is. I should have been doing it a lot more when I was younger. But yeah, it's a full body workout. I've had the gym now 14 years. I love it. It's also a great community. Uh, I've gotten a lot of people, runners come and do kickboxing people turn into runners. Yeah, they go nicely hand in hand.
Now, is there a kickboxing workout or a workout regimen that you go through to help you or help a runner? So I'm a runner. I'm going to come to the kickboxing studio. I know nothing about kickboxing. What can you teach me, Kelly? Like, teach me to be a kickboxer.
It's you in a heavy bag. So
Okay.
it's instructor led. It's you on your own bag for 50 minutes, and it's whatever the instructor says. It is working out on the bag, but it's a lot of calisthenics in there. Basic things, body weight exercises. We do a lot of classes with weights also. But it's just like the simple things you need that runners don't even do. Squats, lunges, ab work, push-ups. It's just the maintenance stuff. Just to get stronger, to keep that strength.
I think it's a good mix. I take some of Kelly's classes or some of the other instructors, and sometimes the classes start with jump roping. So that's great for runners with your ankles and your calves. A lot of the kicking helps with your hips. So making sure you're keeping your hips strong. And then upper body is always great. I think people forget about upper body for runners. But a lot of your strength does come from your upper body as well. So,
and your form, right?
Yeah. So I think, the whole combination of upper body to lower body to even from the warm-ups to the ab workouts, all of it combined, I think it complements running really well.
And you're right on. You have to incorporate strength training. For all the younger listeners, if you're avoiding strength training, get into it, because it's harder to get into it when you're older. I'm giving myself advice here because I've always keep talking about strength training. I do a little bit of body weight training, which I find amazing, because I'll do a plank for like 30 seconds and I can't do a plank, but I can go run a 50-mile race, no problem, but I can't plank for 30 seconds. So you definitely need that for sure. You're both moms, business owners, friends, wife, runners. How do you balance all this? Like, what does a week look like for you, Kelly?
Well, the alone time comes between 5 and 6:30 in the morning. And that's where I do a lot of work and a lot of stretching and a lot of mobility work. And then from there, it's take the kid to school, get in your run, come back and work, go to work. Mondays, I work 13-hour days at the gym. So on my lunch break, I'll leave and I'll go for a run. It's whatever you want out of your life, you'll find time to do it.
Right.
We have people that are like, I don't know, I work 9 to 6. Okay, well then wake up a half hour earlier and get in a 30-minute run, and then you'll find it easier to get in than 45 minutes. And then, you just have to want it. Everything in our life is very regimented, time blocking. I learned a lot from Tim about time blocking. And if you stick to that schedule, it's kind of like, oh, that's no fun. We have a lot of fun. We go out a lot. So you could make time for fun also, but I know I want to go to bed at 9:30. I want to wake up early. 5 a.m. is my sweet spot. We're not night owls. I'm not young anymore. And it's okay to say no to things that I don't want to do. I want to run. I want to feel good. I want to wake up, and I want to spend time with my family. Like, I think the older you get, the more your priorities shift, and you just have to be okay with that. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And finding the schedule that works for you and finding the time you can. There's lots of hours in a day to do the things that you want to do if you can. Absolutely. And Grace, how do you balance? What does a week look like for you?
She's got a crazy.
I mean, it's similar. I also run, I own a small business as well. So it's similar to Kelly's schedule. Getting the runs in earlier is better because I get tired in the afternoons and the evenings, but sometimes it's, squeezing in a run whenever you can. Like today, I didn't get my run in until this afternoon, but I got it in. So it's finding that time and blocking off that window of time to get that run in so that your training doesn't get impacted. But, the flip side of it is if you miss a run here and there, I think that's okay. I don't think it's going to set you too far back as long as it's not your long run. But I think it's fitting in where you can in your schedule and making it work for you.
And what would, from a mileage perspective for runners, Kelly, how many miles are you running per week as you build up towards your marathon?
Well, right now I'm hitting about 60, between 60 and 65 miles, but I'm doing London and then Boston, and 6 days later I'm doing London.
Okay.
So my mileage is pretty high right now. I'll probably get up to about 70. But, when I'm not training for something, I try to maintain 25 to 30 miles. And if I miss runs, that's okay. But right now I'm trying to stay on top of between 60 and 65 miles.
And then that's a heavy training load. What's your go-to for recovery? How do you recover to keep ready for those 60 to 65 mile weeks?
I will always have one full day of rest.
Okay.
It's really important to me. I need it. My body needs it. And I look forward to it during the week. Like I said, my big thing is I go to bed between 9:15 and 9:30 every night. And I wake up around 5:30. So I make sure sleeping is a huge priority for me, and nutrition. So those two things I think will help carry me. And then recently I learned how important mobility work is. So as long as I stay on top of those things, I feel really good. My body feels really good, but definitely sleep is a major factor.
Sleep is a superpower. Luckily,
for sure.
I've always loved sleep, but
Me
I don't
too.
have it. I don't have it as a superpower because I'm still pretty mediocre. Okay, at running.
Okay.
Grace, what about you? What does your mileage look like in a week?
I'm right now around 40 to 50.
Okay.
I don't have as many races, back-to-back races as Kelly, so I'm about there for right now.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of miles.
Yeah.
It is. It's and 60 to 65 miles, that's a lot of miles in 6 days because you're taking a day off. So you're getting some good running. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah.
I know we're getting close here to time. I got a couple more questions to ask you, maybe just some fun speed round type questions.
Sure.
All right. So what's your favorite New York City running spot?
Oh, if I can get there, Central Park. I know. Everyone's like, Central Park. But I think it's such a gem for me because it's a trek for me to get there. And I have to be able to have a few hours in the day just to even do one loop, to take the train there or to run there. I absolutely love Central Park, especially in the spring or the fall. I love being around all those other runners. And now it's more crowded than ever. I absolutely love Central Park.
I love it too. I love running Central Park too. Grace, from your side, what's your favorite go-to or your favorite spot in New York City to run?
I think similarly, if I have time, is the West Side Highway.
Okay.
There's so many runners out there. That alone gives you so much to look at. But then you have the waterfront. There's parks. The area just keeps getting more and more built up. So it makes the run go by super quick.
It does. Like when you're running with a friend or with a group, it goes by so much quicker. I don't know what it is about that. Okay, so was Kelly, bucket list race. What's on your bucket list? The race that you must do.
I've done so many. I don't know.
You've done them all, but there's got to be one or two that's still left.
Be one or two.
Australia.
No, I don't want to do. I would like to.
You got to get that 7-star.
I know.
I really wanted her to do that one.
I'd like to go back to Oregon, where I'm from, and do the Eugene Marathon.
Okay.
I hear so many great things about it. I really would like to do that. For me, that would probably be a bucket list. I went to school in Eugene.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. You're from Oregon.
Yeah, I went to U of O. Yeah. So I know it's supposed to be a great race, and I think that would be really fun to do.
Excellent. And Grace, what's your bucket list? What's the one or two races that you really want to do?
I don't think I have a specific race, but maybe just trying to go international once to see what that would be like. I feel like it's a whole different process comparing to being somewhere local or, somewhere that's the flight's not too far away. So definitely something international.
We're going to get you there.
There's lots of flights around the world. We can get you places.
Yeah,
no worries.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your best post-run treat. You got done your favorite run. You're going to snack on something. Is it the French toast? Is it something else? Kelly, what do you got?
No, it's a beer.
A beer. Okay. What kind of beer?
What's your favorite?
Well, when I was in Berlin, all I cared about was the giant pretzel and the boot of beer.
Yes.
And I got that. And I think about it all the time. So post run, a nice ice cold beer does great things for me.
Grace, from your side, what's your favorite?
I'm terrible. After races, my stomach is usually pretty uneasy. So it takes me a few hours before I can actually eat anything. But probably my go-to would be, I'm trying to think. I was going to say dirty martini, but I feel like that's rough on the
That's okay too.
Probably something, carb heavy. So bread, pasta, something like that.
I was going to go back to something about Berlin. So maybe, Grace, this could be the international race that you're looking for and get you into the Berlin Marathon here, because we ran with my friend Harvey and they found this little place called, I'm going to do a terrible job of pronouncing it, the Schlusenkrug. It was this little bar on this lock that was kind of by our hotel. They found it. It had the most giant beers that you could ever imagine. You remember that Simpsons episode where they brought Homer a really big beer and he's like, it's kind of big. It's this giant beer. And it was like, I don't know, dirt cheap. You had the pretzels, you had the sausages, the sauerkraut. I got to get back to Berlin just to go to the Schlusenkrug.
We got to get to Berlin.
Got to.
Yeah. Actually, this year after London, I'm looking forward to a nice Guinness with Tim and Johnny Davies. I don't know if you know Johnny Davies, but last year, he's a great guy. He's a huge runner. You should look into him. But they ran London last year, and at the end, they had a Guinness. And I was just looking at a video of that, and I was like, that's what I'm doing this year, having a Guinness with the two of them.
Excellent. That's excellent. So, Kelly, you've already mentioned that you don't listen to music when you run, but Grace, do you listen to music? And if so, what's your favorite music to run with?
I do. I feel like they always say you go back to the music that you listen to in, I don't know, your college, I guess, time frame. So I did a lot of clubbing in my college days. So I like to listen to like a lot of dance music, a lot of upbeat music to get me going.
Okay.
She's out there raving.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, what years was this clubbing? Was it like around 2000s? Maybe in that time?
Yeah.
Same here. So we got
I'm having parties on my own and when I'm running. So
yeah, that's awesome. Maybe you got one book that has changed your life. Kelly, have you read one book that's changed your life? And if so, what is that book?
I think it's changed everyone's life. Born to Run. I think it's just a staple. I've read it a couple of times. I really enjoy it. I know it's anticlimactic to probably what the answer that you're looking for, but it's just and Dean Carnazan is that how you pronounce his last name? His book. He's an ultra marathon runner. When I used to work in TV, we had him on. He came on to talk about his book, and he's fascinating. And his stories were fascinating. He'd be running through the middle of the night, meet up with the pizza delivery guy, be half asleep, running and eating pizza. Like, I just like these real stories of relatable runners.
Yes, I'm totally with you. Real stories of relatable runners are the best, and it's fantastic. Grace, from your side, is there a book that's changed your life?
Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of time to read, so I can't think of anything at the moment. Yeah.
Well, we'll get you Born to Run. We'll get you Born to Run on audio, and then
I've got a couple I got a couple of them. She can have one.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, where can folks find more about your run coaching and yourselves on socials? Like, where can folks find you?
So my personal handle is Kelly Chiusano. And then we have Striders NYC. You can find us there, or Grace Lee, which there are a lot of Grace Lees. Yeah. Grace has pointed out. So probably Striders NYC or Kelly Chiusano.
Excellent. And you both shared what you're excited for this year. You got the Boston, you got London. Grace, you said you got 3. You got the wine.
I have Jersey City, Wine Glass, and hopefully New York City.
We're both doing Wine Glass in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. I got my ballot in New York City. This year I'm doing Big Sur. I'm going to get out to Big Sur in April.
That's a bucket list also. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one. And then I'm going out to Utah to do a 50K trail race. It's the Salt Lake Foothills 50K, the end of May. Path Projects is sponsoring it. So my friend Flores is going to be out there, so I got to go visit Flores and try my best at a 50K. I've done 350 milers, so 50K should be easy. But there's hills, and I live where it's flat, so I'm really nervous. And then maybe I get into New York City because I put my ballot in, and if not, I think I'm going to go back to JFK for my 4th time, because on my my bucket list, I want 5 JFKs, because then you get that special 250 mile bucket bell or buckle or whatever it's called. It's like the 5-timers club from the old SNL. Remember the 5-timers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get into New York, though, we should get together. We should meet up with you. That would be great.
Absolutely. Just shake out, run, have some fun. Absolutely. Fingers crossed. I got picked in 2024. I got my ballot pulled, which nobody could believe. And I couldn't believe it either. And it turned out to be a really fun day. Like I had a tough summer that summer. I had some injuries and whatnot. So I had no expectation. And I ran my best New York City.
It's great. Amazing.
This has been awesome. Ladies, you've been fantastic. Your running stories are amazing. I think folks, what they can take away from this episode is that you can be everything. You can do everything if it's all in balance. But Kelly, maybe as a departing comment, what's one thing that you want to offer to the listeners if they're looking to really take their running to the next level, to advance their running? What would you offer them?
My advice to them would be, don't take yourself too seriously. Remember to relax and try hitting the track once a week and being inspired by faster runners and the community out there. It is super intimidating, but everybody's just trying to better themselves. And, you know, the more you talk to people about running, the more you learn about running. And it's, you know, something that you can probably continue to learn for your entire life. There's always going to be another story that you benefit from and another run that makes you stronger. So don't give up. Just keep going and have fun with it.
I love it. And Grace, from your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Just be patient with yourself. Stick with the training, and you'll be surprised with what you can do.
Well, I can't thank you enough for both joining us on this episode. I know I've learned a lot, and it's been fascinating to learn lots about your journey and see how you're balancing all the priorities in life, but also getting great race results. So just thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
We thank you for listening to the Renegade Podcast. Each episode, we dare to practice the lost art of conversation to better understand this thing we call life and the human connection that we have with running and endurance sport. If you enjoy the Renegade Podcast, could we ask for a favor? Head on over to our YouTube and click subscribe, and like our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your engagement helps keep the Renegade Podcast growing and going. If you have a show idea, a comment, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, runegadepodcast@gmail.com. That's RUNEGADE podcast@gmail.com. We have a great list of guests coming up that we're looking forward to sharing another conversation with you. Head on over to our link tree, check out our sponsors, our friends of the podcast. We have great discount codes that, thanks to them, they're offering you, the Renegade listeners, to save some money on the best running gear, apparel, fuel, and nutrition. We thank you for listening. And remember, in a world of runners, be a renegade.